What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Hard Road Fitness Podcast. Last time we were on, we built the lat pull down bar out on the tree. Today is Memorial Day, so today we're going to go back and work on the mental side. For those of you that haven't seen any of the other videos prior to this, there's a baseline. Baseline is there's a program out there called 75 Hard. It's 100% free, outlined, really amazing lifestyle change. So it's called a challenge. I consider it a lifestyle because it's changed how I look at a lot of things, how I do my workouts, how I do my day to day, really. And that program is a fitness program, but when you talk about fitness, fitness doesn't only hold true to your physical fitness. It's also your mental fitness. And to be quite honest, your mental fitness is the most important out of the two. You'll never get the gains that you want. You'll never hit the goals that you want. You'll never hit, you'll never make the dreams that you want to make come true if up here ain't right. So the way this program works, the way this challenge works, the way this lifestyle change works is it utilizes the use of getting physically fit to help get yourself and your mind mentally fit. When I got out of the Marine Corps, it was basically turn all your gear in, walk out the front door, and I was in an alien world all of a sudden because there was no going back, and it was like they just, I was just gone. And that is a hard thing to swallow because it's not just a job. It was my family. I don't have a single blood relative who was closer than any of my guys that I was with in my unit because it's almost impossible to get closer to somebody than when they've got your 6 and you got theirs when you're in the middle of a war zone. So I went into a pretty deep and dark hole after I got out, to the point where I tried to unalive myself. Went to the garage, had my 30-aught, put it here, squeeze, click. The only thing that happened was primary engaged. I carried this around in my pocket for about a year. And then somewhere along the line, it ended up in a drawer and then in a box. A couple years later, I ended up finding it again. And I found it at a time where I really kind of needed it. See, when we get out, like I said, like we're aliens, but we're also, because we're aliens, you feel alone even if you're in a crowded room, even if you're surrounded by family, because nobody understands. Nobody understands anything that we went through, and they're not supposed to. That's the purpose of what we do. We go and we put an invisible wall around the entire country. That wall is freedom. You're not supposed to understand. You're not supposed to know. You're supposed to go on with your day to day life. While we guard the gates. When I found this, I was back in, I'd gotten into the VA, and realized, just like when I was in the Corps, I had a new mission. The mission was to get a little bit better every day, to live my life in a way that honored all of my brothers who didn't make it home. At least not on their own 2 feet. We just got through a pandemic, but we've been going through a pandemic for a long time. Pandemic of homelessness, of American citizens, but also the veterans. A few years back, I think it was like about 200,000. Now I believe it's above 300,000 that sleep on the streets every night. There's another major issue. A couple years ago, it was thought that it was 22 per day. 22 veterans that, after surviving through hell, making it home from the desert, making it home to their families, 22 a day were taking their lives. I seen or heard something not long ago that that number is closer to or above 35 now. That's not even counting, all the fentanyl overdoses and everything else that is racking up civilians coast to coast as well. So now I have two missions. One is to live my life in a way that honors the sacrifice of the fallen. The other is outreach. Try to help as many veterans, as many Americans as I possibly can. Because it's unacceptable. Right now, we have people protesting wars, rioting and protesting, hitting the streets with signs. And as they're doing that, they're walking past and stepping over American citizens and American veterans. To protest wars that are going on a half a world away that have nothing to do with us. I'm completely okay with, helping our neighbors, helping other populations. Once we're good. But when you think about it, if you take it all the way down to the simplest level, if I've got $50 in my pocket, that's all I got left. My wife, my kids, my family, they're hungry. But then I find out that the next door neighbor, him, his wife, his kids, they've got nothing. Who are you going to take care of first? You take care of your four walls. Now, if there's enough to spread and share, then fine. But we need to clean up our own house before we take care of anybody else. Hawaii, they got a $750 one-time payment per citizen that was affected by the fire. At the exact same time that they were sending $1 billion to Ukraine. Let's take care of ourselves first. Let's put the mask on your own face when it falls from the ceiling when you're on the airplane before you take care of whoever's to the left or the right of you. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, then we can't truly help anybody else. It's okay to be selfish when we're fixing and working on ourselves, because you can never truly be truly selfless unless you've taken the time to be selfish. So that you can be able and capable of going and helping somebody else. That being said, that's kind of what Jocko does. That's Jocko's book up there. I just got done reading that. I'm getting ready to start the 75 Hard because I just recently got that from a friend that introduced me to the 75 Hard program. Jocko does a lot of these videos. This one I listen to every single morning. A couple other ones that I listen to too, but this one every morning right before I go on my run. If I need a little extra motivation, if I'm just down and out, I listen to this. I have it on my phone. It's linked up on YouTube as one of my favorites, top of the list. I used to even have it on a CD and put it in my CD player in my truck. Okay. So, I want y'all to listen to this, get something from it, pay attention to what he's saying. And then after this one, we've got one more from him. It's going to be every year he does a Memorial Day video. I've seen all the rest of them. I haven't seen this year's. I was waiting to do it here. So we're going to do this video, talk about it a little bit, and then we'll jump to the other one.
One of my direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me, he would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, "Boss, we got this and that and the other thing." And I'd look at him and I'd say, "Good." And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, "I already know what you're going to say." And I said, "Well, what am I going to say?" He said, "You're going to say good." He said, "That's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good." And I said, "Well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it."
Now, I do got to stop these every now and then, otherwise it'll get flagged. So we can talk about that just a little bit. So, ever since I was a kid, my dad and my granddad always pounded it in my head, and I'm pretty sure it got reinforced in the Marine Corps. You don't learn anything from winning. The only thing that you truly learn is that all the hard work that you put in paid off. Winning's easy once you get to that level. Look all the way back to even like Little League. What happens when you win? You go over, you get your Capri Sun, you get your snack, you might go get pizza. At the end of the season, if you keep on winning, you get your trophy. But it's when you lose that you learn. But you had the opportunity to learn. If you don't take that opportunity, you're going to keep on making the same mistakes over and over again. You're going to keep failing. You're going to keep losing. Every day you should wake up and tell yourself, today I'm going to win. One way, shape, or form. It could be small, little, tiny wins. It could be giant. Depends on the day. When my son was in Little League, I coached him. At that time, I wasn't the head coach because I was doing a lot of. I'm an iron worker, so I was all over the place. Couldn't commit to being the head coach. But there was a year where we pretty much went undefeated for 2/3 of the season. That last third of the season, we started doing interleague. So we were playing games against, obviously, other leagues in the city, in the county. We only ever lost one game. But that one game, after winning all those throughout the entire season, there was kids crying. There's kids with their head on their knees. Immediately, I jumped on them, chin up, eyes front, chest forward, because we got to keep moving. When I tell you that they showed up early, every single player showed up early for every practice, but especially that very next one, which was a couple of days off. And the game was on a Saturday, the next practice was on a Tuesday. They all showed up at least a half an hour early. By the time that the coaches got there, they had already done their warm-ups, they'd already done their stretches, and they were ready to go. And then they worked hard for the rest of the season because they didn't want to feel that again. We ended up winning our league, going to the TOCs, the Tournament of Champions. Came down to us and that team that beat us. First game that we played, we destroyed them. First time we played them in the interleague, it was like 14-1. I think we ended up winning the TOC game. It was like 10-3. But we had to beat them twice. That second game, all they had to do was beat us once. Went into the 12th inning, tied up 1-1. Simple ground ball. Took a bad hop. Runner came in. That team won. Again, heads down, some tears. But before I could even get to the dugout to get their heads up, my son was already working on it. So were some of the other leaders of the team. The head coach grabbed his gear and stormed off, pouting. Even left his own kid still on the field. He went and sat out in the parking lot until his kid got out there to get in the car to go home. Didn't talk to the team, nothing. There was 8 different leagues with 9 to 10 teams in each league. And out of all that, we took second. That was a successful year. But I don't think that we would have made it that far if we hadn't have lost that one. Because it put a level of pain as well as anger and frustration into those boys that they worked their butts off for the rest of the season and got better and better and better every single practice, every single game until we got to those last games. So you got to find the good in the bad. Find the opportunity to get better, to grow, to learn. So if something goes wrong, good. Figure out what you can find to learn from it.
Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution.
You have the opportunity, but you also have the responsibility. Because if you, especially in a military situation, but even in, sports situation, corporate job, construction job, if there's one guy that keeps failing or one guy that keeps on screwing up, in sports, you might lose a game. In a job, okay, so somebody drops the ball, somebody else has to pick it up. Somebody consistently drops the ball, it's causing delays and mistakes. Other mistakes happen because now somebody else is doing this and they're not paying attention to that. But in a military situation, in a combat situation, 9 times out of 10, that ends up with somebody injured or somebody dead. So you have a responsibility, not just to yourself, but to the people around you, to take that opportunity to learn. to get better, to get motivated, to drive harder, take that hard road and admit that you screwed up and then fix it.
That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
That's why I watch that every day. To put you in the right state of mind to get up and win. Put you in the right state of mind to learn from yesterday. Did I get everything that I needed to get done? Did I do everything I possibly could have done to make this day better? Now, what do I got to do today to make tomorrow better? But in the mental, especially the mental health side, you got to get to the point where you understand that there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. You can learn from your past. And your past is the road that got you here in this very second, in this day, where you are in your life. And tomorrow is an illusion. Because at 12:01, at 12 and 1 second every day, tomorrow becomes a day. All you have is today. Working for a better tomorrow. That's a goal. But working to make today the best day you possibly can, that's a lifestyle. It has to be done every single day. Get just a little bit better, just a little bit better every single day. Work just a little bit harder every single day. Learn just a little bit more every single day. Live that lifestyle that honors those that didn't get home. And it honors those that stand up, get on those yellow footprint, put their hand up in the air, and swear the oath to protect this nation, this nation's people, that flag from all enemies, foreign and domestic. So they keep on standing up. So they keep on going. So the next generation still keeps on standing up, keeps on going. Putting pride back into this country, into the people that live here, is one of the greatest missions that we truly need to start attacking. And when we do that, I think a lot of these other things are going to just fall into place. Might be wrong, but that's what I think. So I'm moving to the next one. This is the Memorial Day.
Colonel David Hackworth wrote about one of his soldiers in his book About Face, a soldier named Private Henry C. DeBoer. This was during the Korean War, and this soldier had not earned the best reputation. He consistently tried to avoid combat, often going to sick call before dangerous missions and missing out on those missions. But during one operation on the 6th of February, 1951, DeBoer was with his platoon on an operation, and he got shot on an open, iced-over rice paddy. And Hackworth, who was a sergeant at the time, saw him lying there exposed and ran out to get him. And Hackworth writes this in his book, quote, "Now DeBoer was ashen-faced, hit in the chest or gut. I don't know. There was a lot of blood, and he was well into shock. I knew he wasn't going to make it. Come on, DeBoer. You're going to be fine. You'll be all right," I said, giving him the old pep talk as I grabbed his jacket collar and started sliding him across the ice. But DeBoer said, "No, Sarge. Just leave me. You're going to get hit. Just leave me, Sarge." Then suddenly, he groaned. And that was it. He was gone. I left him and ran back. DeBoer, in death, became one of the greatest heroes of our outfit. He didn't say, "Take care of me." He said, "Leave me. Take care of yourself." And when I told the other guys the story, old DeBoer became a legend in the platoon. End quote. There was no time for DeBoer to think, no time to decide. There was only time for him to try and save his friends. And that reminds me of another story. April 22nd, 2008, in the city of Ramadi, 2 Marines, Corporal Jonathan Yale, age 22, and Lance Corporal Jordan Herder, age 20. They stood their ground and saved scores of their comrades from death when a suicide truck bomb tried to drive past an entry control point, a point that was guarded by Corporal Yale and Lance Corporal Herder. The suicide bomber did not get past them. General John Kelly, United States Marine Corps, a Gold Star father himself, gave a speech about these 2 Marines. And in part of that speech,
Remember when this happened? Seems like this happened a lot. But remember when this happened? I was in Ramadi at the time. They didn't falter. They didn't fail. They did their job. Their job was being their brother's keeper, making sure that VBIED, vehicle-borne IED, didn't get past them, didn't cause more damage, didn't send more body bags home. This is what I was talking about when I said having family, even though they're not blood. someone that's willing to lay their life down on the line for you. Without even thinking about it. Just do it.
The suicide bomber did not get past them. General John Kelly, United States Marine Corps, a Gold Star father himself, gave a speech about these two Marines. And in part of that speech, he described a security video that captured the scene. General Kelly said this: "It took exactly 6 seconds from when the truck entered the alley until it detonated. You can watch the last 6 seconds of their young lives. Putting myself in their heads, I supposed it took about a second for the two Marines to separately come to the same conclusion about what was going on once the truck came into their view at the far end of the alley. Exactly no time to talk it over or call the sergeant to ask what they should do. Only enough time to take half an instant and think about what the sergeant had told them to do only a few minutes before. Let no unauthorized personnel or vehicles pass." The two Marines had about 5 seconds left to live. It took maybe another 2 seconds for them to present their weapons, take aim, and open up. By this time, the truck was halfway through the barriers and gaining speed the whole time. Here, the recording shows a number of Iraqi police, some of whom had fired their AKs, now scattering like normal and rational men, some running right past the Marines. The Marines who now had 3 seconds left.
This is what I mean when we say that we're wired a little different. There's normal reaction to danger, to gunfire. Anything in a situation that's like this. It's the same with police officers, the same thing with firefighters. Firefighters run into the fire while everybody's running out. Police officers and military, we run towards bullets. We run towards the danger. But the human response is to turn and run and save yourself. When I got out of boot camp, there were some people that said that they had brainwashed us. I argued it at the time, but I would say, yeah, to a certain extent, because you kind of have to be a little bit in order to do this. In order to be those guys that run towards the danger when everybody else is running away. And the funny thing is you don't even think about it. It's your job. It's what you do. And unfortunately, sometimes doing your job results in you losing your life. He's published it. That's what we signed up to do. It's the only country in the world where our youth stands up and volunteers to protect this nation. Knowing that when they're volunteering, and they're taking that oath, they're not only volunteering to go fight, they're volunteering to die if need be. So yeah, I'd say that probably got to be a little bit brainwashed and probably a little bit crazy or a little bit different than most other people to do these kind of jobs.
Left to live. For about 2 seconds more, the recording shows the Marines' weapons firing nonstop. The truck's windshield exploding into shards of glass as their rounds take it apart and tore it into the body of the son of a bitch who's trying to get past them to kill their brothers. American and Iraqi, bedded down in the barracks, totally unaware of the fact that their lives at that moment depended entirely on 2 Marines standing their ground. If they had been aware, they would have known they were safe, because 2 Marines stood between them and a crazed suicide bomber. The recording shows the truck careening to a stop immediately in front of the 2 Marines. In all of the instantaneous violence, Yale and Herder never hesitated. By all reports and by the recording, they never stepped back. They never even started to step aside. They never even shifted their weight. With their feet spread shoulder width apart, they leaned into the danger, firing as fast as they could work their weapons. They had only 1 second left to live. 6 seconds in total. Not enough time to think about their families, their country, their flag, or about their lives or their deaths. But more than enough time for 2 very brave young men to do their duty into eternity. That is the kind of people who are on watch all over the world tonight for you. They did their duty. They held the line. They protected their friends. And we can get a glimpse into their mindset from another serviceman. A soldier from Charlie Company, 4th Battalion, 31st Infantry. Sergeant First Class Marshall Robertson. He had served about 10 months in Vietnam and was sent to the rear to finish out his tour. But his company suffered significant casualties after he left. His company commander was hit, and he knew his troops needed him. So he volunteered to go back to the front with his men. And he wrote this letter on August 20th, 1969. Quote, My dear darling, honey, I love you so much. I'm writing this letter at 8:30 p.m. tonight, for I want you to know how I feel about you. For you see, this might very well be my last letter. I know you will not understand or be able to understand what or why I'm doing, but I've got to do it. You see, my company went in to relieve Brock.
By far, that's one of the hardest things I ever had to do. I would write a new letter every time we went out on a new mission. It would go in my left breast pocket, just in case. It became kind of a tradition that after every mission we got back, I'd burn that letter because it never had to get mailed. And you had to write a new one the next time. I had a young daughter and a wife and the rest of my family at home. The thing that was more scary than dealing with the enemy was thinking about my daughter having to grow up, me not be there. Honestly, that's probably what kept me sharp, probably what kept me motivated, probably what kept me moving. Writing that letter is no easy task.
Bravo Company, where they had 27 men killed in 2 days. Well, now my company is taking a beating. Captain Murphy, my company commander, has been hit in both legs, and I am going out at 4:30 in the morning. Now I know what you are thinking, that I have too much to live for. Well, that's very true. But there are some times in a man's life when he must do what he must. Honey, please forgive me for this, but my men have a brand new officer. I just have to go out there and help them. I know that you will not understand, but please try to see my side of it. My love, if I should die over here, it will not be for my country or this country. It will be for my boys. Please tell the kiddies that I love them. And if this is my last letter, please remember me. Whatever happens, I love you. Marshall Robertson, 33 years old, father of 4. loyal husband, was killed 6 days after writing that letter on August 26, 1969, while maneuvering to get to a wounded comrade. And these are but a few stories of a few men. I also knew some brave men that stood up and faced death to do their duty and protect their friends. Men like Mark Lee, Mikey Mansour, and Ryan Job. Men who, in leaving their mortal forms of this life, became immortal. Immortal in our memories, immortal in our history, and immortal in their example. And in their actions, they joined the vast ranks of our fallen heroes. Heroes who number in the hundreds of thousands, but who are not just numbers. They were husbands, fathers, and sons, wives, mothers, and daughters. They were people with dreams and ambitions and futures, all who had, like Marshall Robertson, so much to live for. But they volunteered. They volunteered to go into the fray. They volunteered to defend us. They volunteered to protect us. And in the moment of truth, they stood their ground and did their duty to the utmost into eternity. And now, it is our modest, but our most important and solemn duty to memorialize them on this day and every day by living to honor them in our thoughts, words, and deeds, and by always and eternally remembering their sacrifice. They are our heroes, and we must never forget them.
You pretty much finished it up with what I was saying earlier. It's the only true way to honor their sacrifice. Is to live the life that they couldn't live. Not forget about them. Not just talk about them and remember them one day a year. Keeping them in your thoughts and or your prayers year round, as well as all the men and women that are serving still to this day, all the men and women that are signing up, getting ready to sign up. There's also the ones that came home that never really fully came home. It took me almost 9 years, 9 or 10 years, to actually fully feel like I was home. To actually be able to make the proper adjustments. Because when I got out, they didn't really do a whole lot to prep you for this next life or this next stage of your life. But in the groups and everything that I've been in, slowly but surely, and now more and more, I'm hearing that before these guys even get out now, they're already being enrolled into the VA. They're already getting help with getting a game plan for the next mission, which is good. I'm glad. Doesn't mean that it makes it easy. It just lands them in the right direction and instructs them that they have a pathway to keep winning. Whether that's through the VA or whether that's through they're also setting up guys with jobs, stuff like that. Just making a difference. That being said, we're coming into the election season. Democrat, Republican, almost seems like it's all the same. They're on one team and the rest of us are on another. But what I would say is to make sure that when you get your practice ballots, you actually read through them. You don't just read the headline, big bold letters up on the top with the number on it. But you actually read what it is and then look up completely what it is. Because they don't tell you everything that it is. Make sure that whatever we're passing, that we're voting for, whether you're voting yes or no, make sure that whatever laws are getting pushed through, that it puts American citizens first. Let's take care of our home. We got a lot of shit to fix. And that's the only way that it's going to get done. We got to stop letting them, the elites, pin us against each other. Left, right, Democrat, Republican, black, white, this, that, the other. They know that if all they got to do is separate us, And while we're fighting each other, arguing with each other, they're doing whatever they want to do, getting away with whatever they want to get away with. It's in their best interest. But they know, which is why they do the separation, that if we actually reunite this country, this union, and aim all of our voices straight up towards DC, we have a united front. They can't ignore it. But as long as their game plan works, as long as we allow it to work, they're just going to keep doing it. Make sure that we're taking care of our homeless citizens, our homeless veterans. Make sure we're taking care of our people. Let's fix America, and then we can fix the world, if that's even possible. All right, so I got one more video. This one I intentionally pulled up. It's one of my favorites. Should put a little bit of laughter into your chest, into your stomach, and a smile on your face. This is Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan. They go to the Alex Jones show, and it's hilarious. There's another guy that's in it. I can't remember what his name is at the very beginning. Another comedian. You should like it. Hopefully it makes you laugh. Hopefully it raises your spirits up a little bit after talking about this, because that's part of mental health too. Is enjoying your life, finding something to laugh at for the veterans and for the people that have a little bit of a darker side of the humor and stuff, which typically we do. I think this will work.
We had a crazy experience in Texas with Alex Jones, with Joey Diaz.
What happened? What did I miss?
Diaz lit the Alex Jones show on fire. He went off. Alex Jones fucked up, and this is where he fucked up. He had Joey come on, and it was his idea to bring Joey into the room. He's talking to me about, what about chemtrails? What about what's going on with the environment? What's going on? What about they're going to kill the dollar? So he's got all this stuff that he's bringing up with me, and then Joey's outside, and we're just talking kind of like straight, real conspiracy theory, Alex Jones style. But he brings Joey in, and we were at the end of the show. So he goes, well, we're going to go into overdrive right now, and we're going to overdrive, super secret overdrive. It's live on the internet, but you can swear. It's all right. It's not FCC, but try not to swear. So he fucked up. He gave the green light to Joey. He let Joey know that Joey can just go off. And so Joey starts going off. First of all, he's going off about Cuba, about how
what did he say?
This is a free country. Well, when it really went awry was when he started talking about smuggling drugs. He goes, I got here on the plane. I had the sack under my ball sack. I put the sack of weed under I was stinking like a motherfucker. And he's going, no. Alex Jones going, no, you didn't. He goes, no, I did. It was under my left ball. My left ball is bigger than my right ball because I'm right-handed. I thought I had cancer for a while. So he just goes deep, Joey Diaz. As Alex Jones is going, well, but no, that didn't happen. No, he goes, it did happen, cocksucker. Obama, freedom of speech. So he's going fucking crazy. And Alex Jones can't figure out what to do, and I am laughing my balls off. So as I'm laughing, you know, Joey, if he's got an audience and that audience is laughing, Joey knows how to finish the deal.
It rages. He gets red. He
Yeah.
starts getting sweaty.
He knows how to finish the deal. So he's going off about how stinky this weed is under his ball sack, and that he go through the X-ray machine, and he thought he was going to have to get arrested. And then the more Alex Jones protests, the crazier it got.
Yeah.
So Joey finally, Joey stands up. He always likes to stand up when he's going to end something and walk away.
Yeah.
He's in a fury, a frenzy.
Yeah.
He goes, Joe Diaz, Facebook, Twitter. He stands up and he goes, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Big dicks in your ass is bad for your health. Stay black, because that's the most important thing. Stay black.
And the whole time he's screaming into the microphone to make it worse. You know, he's just like, take
Screaming.
this.
He's grabbing the microphone with his big paws and screaming into it.
About cash from the United States? What, you don't talk about?
I believe the other guy's Hal Sparks. He didn't really talk too much, but he was the guy to the left on the right-hand side of the screen. He's another comedian. He's pretty funny, but I believe it was Hal Sparks was the other guy.
That shit, you have fucking prejudice. You want to talk about that shit? What the fuck is that? A guy 40 years, 90 miles away.
Well, I didn't say we should.
No, I'm just saying. You know, I mean, after Cuba, it should really be like nothing. You know, 40 miles
crazy
away.
that he's so close.
90 miles away.
You must have some conspiracy
come
theory.
on, guy.
Is he like, does he work for the United
The
States?
CIA originally put him in, and then he reportedly double-crossed him.
Sure, but he's still there. He's still there. Doesn't that fuck with you? He's still there. 50 years later, my brother. I flew after Joe the other day. I flew on the flight afterward, and I had fucking a bag.
I knew an F word was coming.
With I had a little bag of reefer in my fucking.
No, you didn't.
I do. Well, this is a conspiracy thing. This is just to show you how hard the airport people are working with their fucking X-ray machine. Now I had it in a baggie, and I put it under my left nut.
No, okay, we're not telling this story. That's enough.
Yes, for freedom of speech, I'll call Obama right now, motherfucker. This is real corruption. I got freedom.
This is out of control.
No, this is not. You're out of order. Little Esther's out of order. This whole fucking joint's out of order.
He is worse. Hold on, he is worse than Ali Bravo.
Much worse than that.
Don't bring. I love him, but don't bring this monster in here.
was in here.
It's like a crazy Fred
You
Flintstone.
want honesty. I'm giving you honesty. So your viewers know
No.
honesty, your people know honesty.
I don't want. Okay.
We're looking for the truth on this show. This is about the truth. I
got a point.
I got there and I had baggy clothes on. And I had a belt on. They said, because you have baggy clothes on, they didn't know I lost
is great.
pounds. They said, we're going to put you through the X-ray machine. I'm standing there sweating bullets with this baggie under my fucking left
that's
nut.
enough.
Because
Stop.
my left nut's bigger than the right nut because I'm a righty.
Stop.
A lot of people don't know that. I thought I had cancer for a couple of weeks. You know, the opposite hand is
It's like
always bigger
Satan
than
is
the
in the
nut.
control room.
Listen to me. So I'm standing with my legs open with this weed stink.
Like Rodney Dangerfield.
Listen, stop fucking Rodney. I had this weed that was stinking up a storm, not to mention my balls. I'm sweating now because I'm going to go to jail tonight. And all of a sudden the guy goes, he's clear. And he shook my hand. I'm like, my taxpayers are hard about me is. I'll say fuck, but I will not fucking rob you. If I need something, I'll ask you like a man.
You're gonna hey.
So go fuck yourself, you cunt.
Hold on 1 second.
Take a joke, take a shuttle. Joey Diaz, Facebook, Twitter, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Big dicks in your ass.
Okay, that's enough. Get out of here. You're in trouble.
Deal. This is my
I'm the umpire. This is the. I'm throwing. All right. Listen.
Stay black, because that's the most important.
Okay. Hey, Joe.
Bro, this show's over.
I can't even tell you how many times I've seen this clip. And you could tell by the first part of it, it was all through Ustream, which is like way back. I think it was like mid to late 90s is when they were using all the Ustream and all that. Joey Diaz is a monster. And if you've never seen any of his stand-up or anything like that, look him up. He's absolutely hilarious, but he's like that all the time, especially when he gets fired up on something. So we've gotten through Memorial Day. I want to put out one last thing. So I'm gonna put in the comment section my Facebook and my Instagram. anybody that sees this either just needs somebody to talk, need somebody to answer the phone so that you can yell, scream, cry, or just somebody to bullshit with to get through your day. If you know a veteran or you know a family member or something that is going through a hard time, please share this. Share the Facebook and the Instagram. And comment down in the bottom too if you have any questions or whatever. If you're a veteran and you haven't gotten into the VA, get into the VA. If you need it and you haven't gotten into the group sessions are actually, they're pretty solid. We don't ever talk about what we went through overseas because we've all gone through it. So the focus in the groups is what we go through today, what we go through in our day-to-day life now. Because the military, I always say the Marine Corps issued and installed an on switch. And then it took me somewhere around 10 years to install a dimmer switch. I used to think that I needed an off switch. We don't want to lose everything that we went through, that we learned, that we did. We just need a bit of a dimmer switch, which is a little more accessible, a little more doable, just enough to be able to integrate into the civilian life, the alien world that we got dropped off into. If anybody needs to reach out, please do. 24/7, 365 days a year. And I'll answer. If you got something out of this, if you're still here, please like, comment, subscribe, but more importantly, just share it on your guys' socials, because you never know who might come across it, who it might help, who it might save. And that's my goal doing this. So I appreciate all of you for going through this, for watching this. Civilians that have gone through and watched this, hopefully you got a little bit of an education or a little bit of an understanding on kind of why some of the veterans are the way they are when they get home. If nothing else, just a little bit of an understanding. If you know people that are going through a hard time, reach out to them. Just check in with them every now and then. Because this transition doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes work, but it also takes a community, because we didn't go overseas solo. We didn't go over like Rambo. We got this way as a unit, and in my opinion, and in my experience, the best way to adjust out of it is also as a unit, through the groups, through the VA, through family support, friend support. That's the only way that we're going to stop losing guys when they get home, when they feel alone, when they're lost, they're confused, when they're stuck in a dark hole. So remember, don't just leave it to one day, a year, to acknowledge and recognize and think about not only the guys that we've lost are fallen, but also guys that are still fallen into the dark hole. They're falling into homelessness, loneliness, just being lost. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Just remember why you got the extra day. Have a good rest of your week. The next time I jump on, will probably be building an outdoor pull-up bar dip station that will also double as, if you don't have access or don't have a tree, if you watch the last episode, you can utilize the pull-up bar for what we built yesterday, 2 days ago. So that should be what's coming up next, unless I drop in on something else. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good rest of your week. Get better today, better than you were yesterday. Live that life. That honors those that paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms that we all enjoy, that we all have. And a lot of times take for granted. So this is the Hard Road Fitness Podcast. Chin up, eyes front, chest forward, and keep on moving down that hard road. I'll see y'all next time.